descendo lentamente a altitude e ia caminhando.
Call it another Roswell, if you will. It is a crashed vehicle that had beams on board.
Mas que eles não poderiam admitir a verdade. A população ia entrar em colapso.
Nada temos a esconder.
Finally, the facts will be revealed.
The Virginia case is considered the most well-kept secret in the military circle of Brazil.
My objective here is to put some clarity on what took place in Varginha, Brazil, January 1996.
Dois seres extraterrestres foram capturados, depois, posteriormente, foram levados para o hospital.
The witnesses are some of the most compelling testimony I've ever heard.
Meu nome é Carlos de Souza.
Meu nome é Cátia Xavier. Meu nome é Liliane Silva. Meu nome é Valquíria Silva. Em 1996, eu vi uma criatura estranha ali.
A lot of people in this town have a little piece of the puzzle.
Naquele local, eu vi o rastro da criatura pé.
Foi onde ele falou que eu vi era uma coisa sobrenatural.
This year,
Mark Elishrev, he had captured this creature. He's buried.
Você confirma que seu irmão estava de serviço naquele dia 20?
Confirmo.
After he captured the creature, he developed this infection that wouldn't go away.
Foi pro CTI de manhã, 7 horas da manhã, 15 para o meio-dia, ele veio a óbito.
this can no longer be covered up.
They might shoot us because we're on the property.
This can't be denied.
Bateram na porta. E aí isso vai pra mim.
Qualquer um das ia sofrer uma punição muito severa.
This was proof
We pulled this off. This will be the most compelling testimony revealed.
of contact.
This is a level of confirmation that only a handful of people on this planet have.
Lena loves U.S. products, but they are not available or expensive in her country, so she's looking for a way to get them delivered to her door. She tried to ship directly from U.S. stores, but many don't ship overseas, and local stores charge too much, so she turned to MyUS. MyUS gives global shoppers like Lena access to thousands of U.S. stores by making shipping from the U.S. fast, reliable, and affordable. With just a few clicks, Lena signed up and received a U.S. sales tax-free shipping address. Now she shops her favorite U.S. stores and brands like Apple, Nike, and Disney, uses her MyUS address at checkout, and her orders are delivered to MyUS. Finally, Lena saves up to 80% with MyUS low shipping rates and free package consolidation, plus true price upfront pricing. And receives her order in just a few days. Be like Lena and get affordable, reliable shipping from the USA. MyUS. Unbox the possibilities.
The Delmia Final Assembly 3D Validation Solution for the transportation and mobility industry delivers a 3D experience for simulation engineers to validate, optimize, and review assembly processes, including ergonomics for critical stations and workplaces. Balanced assembly lines can be reviewed and optimized in a 3D context to visualize the manufacturing environment and assembly sequences. Manual or automated tasks can be validated with associated 3D resources. By introducing ergonomics analysis early in the design process, the creation and reuse of human interfaces and skills definition can be leveraged to lower the cost of work-related injuries. The 3D experience environment makes it easy to perform detailed feasibility studies and helps to improve communication between all workers on the final assembly line. Automated devices can be quickly and effectively simulated, including remote handling equipment, to increase assembly line quality and efficiency. Delmia's Final Assembly 3D validation strengthens the connection between manufacturers' design philosophies and global assembly operations, resulting in reduced costs and increased quality.
James Fox, welcome for the fifth time.
Thank you guys so much for
Thanks, guys, for letting me on.
Congratulations on Moment of Contact. You really are on a roll and getting great responses to this movie around the world. You absolutely knocked it out of the park with The Phenomenon, and the last time we spoke was when The Phenomenon was coming out. And I felt that that was a movie you could show to even the most reluctant viewer, and it really gave an encyclopedic update as to the credibility of the UFO phenomenon and where we're up to in terms of data and disclosure. So having produced that phenomenal movie, what was it about this one incident that made you feel this had to be the next project? What made you feel about the Virginia incident that there was a whole movie in this, and that you had to be the one to make it, and you're willing to invest probably the best part of 2 years into getting it onto our screens?
1986. Over Sao Paulo, 6 Brazilian fighter jets chased more than a dozen UFOs.
I mean, that. I won. That's why they have underground cities, because they knew this was going to happen.
The Ministry of the Air Force confirms this encounter in a press conference.
Nosso objetivo justamente era identificar. Nós não conseguimos nem nos aproximar.
Photographer Almiro Baraúna and the crew aboard a Brazilian Navy vessel witness a disc-shaped object maneuvering over the ocean. He grabs his camera and takes these shots.
Yeah, that's in Cambodia too. They got one sitting on the fucking hill.
Previously classified Brazilian Air Force documents contain accounts of several UFOs witnessed by both civilians and military personnel. Shown here are several unknown craft captured on camera by the Brazilian Air Force. Some officers even claim to see occupants.
Cadillac converter.
Depois ela desceu se aproximou.
The orb, see? There's the orb.
Bem perto das casas.
It's like the blue one I caught.
Passa por trás de poste.
Where the fuck is that now? Probably in fucking my eye.
Passeia pelo bairro, podia ter sido lá.
Eu não sei de onde que era.
I don't think I ate anything.
Eu fazia também.
Put it inside. I'm so fucked up. You get a little blue man outside. Impossible.
It actually dates back to Out of the Blue. I just finished 50 Years of Denial. I sold it to Discovery Channel. They made that broadcast on Warning Channel. And we were sort of huddling for the next project. Out of the Blue didn't have time at the time. It's probably like 1999 or maybe 2000. And one of my co-producers, this guy Tim Coleman, he's like, British. Mate, we gotta look at this alleged UFO crash in the town of Virginia, Brazil. And these aliens apparently were alive. They walked into town. Oh my God.
Think about it. Anybody knew anything?
This guy's lost his mind.
It was too much.
It was too much. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. There's no way that happened. Period. And I didn't think about it once. Not once. I dismissed it like that. And funny enough, all these years later, I gave him credit in the movie. Special thanks to Tim Coleman, because he was the one that turned me on to the case 22, 3, whatever years ago. And anyway, fast forward to 2011, I was going to Brazil for a conference in a place called Pereira. And I was going to discuss a bit of my background, and in particular, I know what I saw when I did that National Press Club event at Washington, D.C. in 2007 with Leslie Kean, and I get a phone call from a good friend of mine, this guy Jeff Sagansky. And Jeff is a top executive in the entertainment industry, and he's had a secret interest in UFOs. And he says, "Oh, James, you're going to Brazil. You gotta look into that Varginha case." And I thought, "Oh God, not this again." So, long story short, I go to Brazil, I go to the conference with no intention whatsoever of looking into Varginha, and I meet some witnesses and researchers, and that sort of piqued my interest. Following that, I decided, okay, well, I'm going to go and do some more research, and I did. And I went to Varginha 4 times, about roughly a month each time, either from Sao Paulo up to Varginha. And I was going to include that section of the film in the phenomenon. If you know, with the phenomenon, I tried to do compelling cases all around the world, Africa, Australia, right here in the United States, Russia, covered some more countries from Vietnam, et cetera. And I actually spent probably 8 months editing with a translator the segment of Varginha that I put together. But quite honestly, I couldn't find a way how to squeeze it in. It just didn't feel right.
That would be the whole story.
And all this travel and all this investigation, I very painfully deleted that entire section from the film, from the phenomenon. And it was one of those moments where I hit the delete button and I let out a kind of a, oh shit, that was painful. And I knew how much work had gone into it. And the film, the phenomenon comes out, and my Brazilian counterparts were devastated. Well, they loved the phenomenon, but they were like, "My God, what happened?" Because it was a green screen. You guys, I really felt like there were eyewitness testimony, like particularly Carlos de Salvo, the guy who witnessed the crash and disappeared for 26 years. Gave one grainy interview with a guy named Claudio Covo, a Brazilian UFO researcher, also an engineer, and then vanished. And then there were all these other members of the Brazilian military, doctors that we were trying to track down, and we just didn't have enough time.
I mean, we all thought that movie, The Transformers,
we needed more time. And so I said to these guys, "Hey, look, I know this is depressing. I know we put a lot into this over 10 years, but stick with me, stay the course, and we're gonna do an entire film on this one case." So we went back to the drawing board, spent probably about 2 more years, 1.5 very intense, but 2 years, 6 months prep. 6 months very intensive prep, and then a year of absolute full-blown, round-the-clock production. And there we have the birth of Moment of Contact.
One of the things I really love about what you've done in Moment of Contact is that by just choosing that one incident and drilling down into it and going there, speaking to the eyewitnesses, you really ground the experience so that the viewer feels the feelings and sees the things, and it's almost like a kinesthetic experience of the encounter. And probably one of the moments that brings that up, there are lots, but one is the conversation and visit with Carlos de Souza to the place where he had his encounter.
1996, crash witness Carlos de Souza describes a similar object in this exclusive interview.
E a lateral dele totalmente rasgada. E ele saiu uma fumaça branca, até uma fumaça preta. E na época eu achei que era uma aeronave apagada, alguma coisa, foi algum avião. Aí eu segui ele.
Now, 26 years later, the team travels with Carlos de Souza to find the crash site.
Did they find Alan?
Um objeto vindo nesta direção, com esta
With a triangle? Like
arrebentada,
Star Wars? Yep.
desceu
That's
como se tivesse perdido a sustentabilidade, perdeu totalmente o fio no chão. Deve ter algumas pessoas lá dentro e essas pessoas vão precisar de ajuda nesse momento.
The pandemic has left you questioning your family's sustainability and living paycheck to paycheck and feeling like you never have enough. You may want to.
God's here. You all forsake him. He came back to save you.
Foi aqui.
You all forsake him.
This is the spot.
God's here. You all forsake him. You forgot what you promised. The 10 Commandments.
Seres morreram.
Only 10 Commandments. See the things that happen? Because humans did this.
According to Mr. Sosa, this area was covered with debris
Sam,
of the UFO crash. This is his first time at the crash site since 1996.
Can you tell us about how the encounter impacted his life? Because it clearly did. As you say, he disappeared for a couple of decades afterwards. What was the impact on him, and how did you feel it when you encountered him?
You know, as an investigator, and I speak for my Brazilian counterparts, it's so exciting. It's one of the highlights of our career when you come upon a potential witness like Carlos de Souza or the women, the 3 girls that came within 8 to 10 feet of a live creature, according to their account. It's so exciting because, you know, we're kind of on the outside looking in, right? And when you meet with a witness like that, you think like, okay, well, either this witness is full of doggy doo-doo, in which case, you know, you can just dismiss everything they're going to say anyway, or they have a definitive experience that we are not alone, right? There's no in between.
Meu nome é Cátia Xavier. Em 1996, eu vi uma criatura estranha ali. Então, a gente estava descendo, né, aqui, eu na frente, as duas mais atrás um pouquinho. Eu olhei, avistei a criatura. Quando a Liliane gritou e eu olhei, eu senti assim, medo.
Mas os olhos vermelhos, pele oleosa, não deu pra ver se boca aberta, rindo, não, feliz não, triste, polido, semblante triste, e não tinha cabelo.
1996. Based on the girl's testimony, artist Betty Rodriguez creates this drawing.
Que era uma criatura que estava ali no cantinho, acuada, com medo. O medo da gente, da mesma forma que a gente ficou com medo desse ser que a gente não sabe o que é. Não era um humano que a gente viu, sinceramente, não era um bicho também. E assim, hoje em dia, eu acho sim, que é um ser de alguma coisa. Um homem não era, um bicho não era, agora o que era, eu não sei falar. Não consigo descrever. Na época a gente era centro de pessoas católicas, né? E que podia ser um demônio, então por isso que a gente ficou com medo na época, né?
Imagine with all the witnesses that we talked to, and we had to track them down. Not one witness came to us. We tracked them down, and for a long time. It was not a pleasant experience in their lives. ridicule, laughter, the giggle factor, discrediting, threats, looking over their shoulder for decades. Some of them had to go offline and completely disappear for decades. Their own family members questioning their sanity. Every single witness that we spoke to said they'd rather it hadn't happened because they wanted their life back when they realized it wasn't going to happen. And it was such an emotional time. Like when we went back 26 years after Carlos de Souza, the alleged crash witness, and there were other people in the town that saw this cigar-shaped object clearly in distress with a gash in the back of it. And they described as white vapor coming out the back. They said it's not smoke from a fire, it was like a white vapor. When we took Carlos back to that site, I don't know how to describe this, but it took a while to find it, and I was quite actually discouraged. In the film, it's only a couple of minutes, but in reality, we spent hours looking for that site, and I was getting, quite honestly, I was getting quite discouraged. I thought we were just about a week into production. We're going to be there a month, and this guy can't find the crash site? Like, how could you not find it? Wasn't that far off the freeway? It's Maiolini Farm? Like, my God, I just thought, this is not off to a good start. And he kept saying, I could see this small white house in view. I said I could see the debris field, I could see this piece of the craft still intact, and I could see this white house. I said, well, how certain are you of that? I'm 1,000% certain, he kept saying. And we were looking and scratching our heads. I finally took the drone up high enough, and I did an aerial view, and I saw behind a grove of trees this little white house. And I found where I thought this has got to be the spot, and it was. And when we went down to that location, I mean, I've never seen anything quite like it. You have a witness that potentially saw a vehicle from another world crash, and then being threatened at gunpoint by the military. It had a profound impact on this man. I mean, he had a full-grown man, tears coming down his face. I'm trying to give justice to the eyes, because I remember looking into his eyes, and it almost like you could see film strips. He was having a flashback, and you could see the scene, you could hear the trucks, you felt the threats. I mean, it was very profound, very emotional moment for him. And I have this cameraman, this guy, the DP that I've been working with for quite some time. His name is David West, and he's a seasoned videographer, film guy. And he's like, I can only tell you maybe 2 or 3 other times in my 45-year career where I've seen someone get that emotional. He's like, tears coming. He said, that guy deserves an Oscar if he's lying. It was very...
You can feel that this was a moment that had changed his life.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a very powerful moment. I'm going to come to the experience of the 3 girls in a moment, but can you, before we do that, paint a picture of what was seen? You spoke to many eyewitnesses, and you've spoken about the craft that was seen, but what was the Virginia incident? What were the things that the eyewitnesses saw?
So you want to talk about the being, the creature?
Yes, I'll come to the 3 girls in a moment. I wondered if you could give us like a broad brush. What was the spectrum of experience?
Sure. So it was January 1996. There were a number of people in the town of Virginia. We got a couple of them on camera, but there's also additional eyewitness testimony on camera from other Brazilian researchers. A number of people saw an unidentifiable sort of cigar-shaped object in the night sky, probably midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, that was not very high. It was flying very slowly. It looked like it was in distress. It had a gash in the side of it. It made no noise noise at all. It was 1996, January. His entire family saw something they want to share with us, but they don't want to have their faces revealed.
O motoboy pegou, me entregou de repente, eu comecei a olhar um negócio assim na minha casa. E procurando, estava doido atrás de alguma coisa. Aí a gente pegou e ficou olhando. Gente, o que eu tô vendo aqui hoje, eu nunca mais vou ver na vida. Não sei por que Deus me deu essa oportunidade de ver. É real, isso aconteceu, não tem como não ser. Esse caso de Varginha foi real. Aí passou acho que uma semana, não sei,
I think it's some satellites over radio towers.
E chamou a atenção essa conversa no outro.
Hello everyone, I'm Fei-Fei Joel, the product manager of CR Collaborative Robot.
Some of the witnesses were talking about, in particular, the two farmers that we interviewed, Orlina and I think of the woman's name in a second, Orlina and Fritas. But they said it was kind of going down, and they were expecting almost a sound of an impact, and it sort of regained some altitude, and it was struggling for a while. I think they watched it for 30-40 minutes. And then there was an ultralight pilot and also a professor of geography, this guy Carlos de Souza, who lives in Sao Paulo. And he was driving from Sao Paulo up to the state of Minas Gerais, which is where Varginha is, which is about a 5-6 hour drive outside of, to the north of Sao Paulo. He remembers the date well because he was meeting he was also an ultralight pilot, and he was meeting some of his friends to go fly ultralight planes. And he was on the freeway. It was about 5 o'clock in the morning. It was early dawn. And right above him was this, what he described as a cigar-shaped metallic object that was clearly in trouble. I mean, it was, another thing I want to mention quickly is not one witness ever said, like, oh, it was an ET spaceship. It was like, Carlos was thinking, this is some kind of military experimental craft. I don't know what I'm looking at, but it's clearly in trouble. It looks like it's going to go down, and it went down onto this farm called the Myelini Farm, which was right off the freeway, just, I don't know, maybe a quarter of a mile, maybe half a mile, something like this. A mile at the absolute most. He gets off the freeway, he drives his car up this dirt road, and he comes upon a debris field about the size of a football field. It's about 100 yards or 150 yards. And it was like a foil, like a very shiny foil-like material scattered everywhere. And this stench, he said it was so strong that his eyes were watering. And he had to grab his shirt to put up over his nose. And it was like a sulfur ammonia. And it burned all the vegetation. It was like a liquid. And he said it was just overwhelmingly powerful. And he's looking at this whole thing, and he's thinking, what am I looking at here? What is this? You can see a piece of the crack still intact, a rather large portion still intact. And he made his way over to some of this debris, and he picked up this, as light as a feather, and according to Carlos, he kind of crumpled it up, and he said it just regained, when he let it go, it regained its shape. At which point, trucks, military army trucks, came in from the opposite dirt road. So he came in from one side, and the opposite direction. These trucks came in, jeeps and trucks, and he was forced at gunpoint to leave. I'm giving you the truncated version, but and he left. He did have a visit, which he describes about in the film, where these men, I know it sounds crazy, but I left it in the movie because I'd heard, I believed it. But these men in suits came and paid him a visit, and knew who he was, knew where he lived, knew who he was married to, told him he didn't see what he thought he saw, never to talk about what he saw. He ultimately gave one camera statement to a guy named Claudio Covo, who's a Brazilian uniform researcher, on-camera statement, and then vanished for 26 years. About 6-7 days later,